Hello, my name is Piedra. As a child, I was blind to a lot of the financial struggles that my family went through. While I was choosing which snack to eat that day, my mom was choosing which bill to make that month. Looking back, I feel that if she had had the tools to set herself up financially, she wouldn't have had to carry that load on her shoulders. My project, Financial Freedom for Tomorrow's Youth, focuses on adding a board-adopted personal finance course into the school's graduation requirements. Childress High School does not currently require a personal finance class, which means that the students are now leaving with the tools they need to navigate the financial world. By directly teaching high school students money management and financial decision making, we all benefit. Research shows that 78% of America lives paycheck to paycheck. 62% have acquired credit card debt just in the last 12 months, and 58% are struggling to get ahead of that debt from month to month. 60% of America agrees that talking about financial goals is stressful. And the Childress Independent School District reported that 59% of the students are considered economically disadvantaged. There is a gap in our school's curriculum that should be used to prepare students for the future, not just academically, but for basic real-world decisions. I collaborated with my school's work-study program to use peers who are already employed. Since they have jobs, money management skills are essential. I began doing research by asking them to complete a survey that I created. The data collected showed that while 85% had a bank account, 50% did not have a budget, 71% did not know how to file their taxes, and 85% did not know their credit score nor how to improve it. It was clear that while over half of the class had a financial goal, they did not yet have the skills to achieve it. With the survey done, the students were asked to participate in a 1-hour weekly simulation personal finance course provided by EverFi. Since it was not required and no grades were attached, few if any of the students completed the lessons. With their lack of participation shows that students need extrinsic motivation. Sometimes we don't know what's best for us, so we need guidance. In an effort to gauge the amount of support I'd received from my community, I first asked my principal to send out a survey to the CHS parents via our Remind app. She was not responsive to this idea, so I came up with a different plan to get community feedback. I reached out to our local United supermarkets because they offered a broad spectrum of respondents. 71% of the participants agreed that there was a need for a personal finance class. The last step was for me to present my findings to the school board, and on January 11th, I virtually attended their meeting with the purpose of persuading them to adopt one of 3 suggested curriculums. I asked that they require every CHS graduate to have earned a half credit in personal finance upon graduation. This could be accomplished in several ways. The first option would be to add it to the required content for the work-study program or for the college, career, and military readiness class, which is required for every senior. The second would be to pair with speech, which is a required half credit. And the last would be to pair with lifetime nutrition and wellness, which is also a half credit. With the combination of these 3 options, every student could fit the new class into their schedule. Besides earning a half credit in personal finance, I asked that the board approve the purchase of a specific curriculum, especially since various teachers will be teaching this content and it needs to be the same for every student. I suggested one of these 3 curriculums. The first option was CW Publications, which is a simulation-based program that allows a student to choose a location and an income. Once that's done, the student is able to create their own budget and make real-life decisions on a week-to-week basis for a simulated year. The second option, which I mentioned before, is EverFi, which is a similar simulation-based program that allows a student to learn things through a storytelling medium, from banking basics to managing their credit and debt to insurance and making smart risks with their money. The last option is the Dave Ramsey Foundations in Personal Finance High School program, which includes a 600-page teacher guide along with 100 different interactive activities, videos, and guided questions that are also available online. These are just 3 examples of classes meant to teach students about banking basics, savings and retirement funds, and making wise financial decisions. In an effort to, while the CCMR class and the work-study program are teaching students important skills for the future, once the student gets into college or begins their career, they need to know how to manage their, pay for their education and how to manage their income. In an effort to One way of promoting my cause was to strike up a conversation about why I think financial literacy should be required for every high school student. As I mentioned before, over half of America finds talking about money to be stressful. And one of the reasons I think I was in the dark about my family's battle with money was because we didn't talk about it. It was important to me to find a clear and concise way to explain the value of a quality financial education. So whenever the opportunity came up to talk about my project, I would say that 78% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck, and 59% of my school district is considered economically disadvantaged. That is why I chose to focus my project on financial literacy. It is important that we teach students the skills to make smart financial decisions. And my goal is to have the school board adopt a personal finance course into the school's graduation requirements. It states the facts, my reason, and my goal. Similarly, I needed a tangible way to leave behind an impression on those whom I spoke to. So for my meeting with the school board, I created a leave behind flyer that encompassed the whole of my project, from the most jarring financial statistics to featuring the question, why do CHS students deserve to be taught personal finance? To remind the school board members of who this class would be benefiting, the students. This brings me to the targets of my project. The CISD school board, the administration, and the students. To my knowledge, the board has never been asked to prioritize the students' financial education, as standardized testing dominates the curriculum. And our campus administration does not currently require a personal finance class. It's only offered as an elective to career and technical education students. Every student deserves to be taught the skills they need to succeed in life. I was lucky enough to have taken a family and consumer sciences that I feel gave me the confidence to go forward in the financial world. And I mean only to instill that same confidence in future generations to come. I partnered with my school's work to study program because its purpose is to guide students in their future careers, and that goes hand in hand with learning personal finance. I also partnered with our local United Supermarkets because this establishment has always been supportive of our SCCLA chapter in projects that benefit our community. Media involvement would have been unprofessional for my project, as it would give the impression of circumventing the school board since my topic is not up for a public vote. The board members are to represent their constituents, so I took it directly to them and to the campus administration. However, the agenda was posted and the minutes were published in our local Red River Sun newspaper. As a result of my project, Childress High School will be purchasing the Dave Ramsey Foundations in Personal Finance High School program. And as of the 2021-2022 school year, every senior will be required to take a personal finance course through the CCMR class in order to graduate. Adults in America are not the most money savvy, but we have the opportunity to change that, starting in our communities where we would all benefit locally. Childress High School students deserve to be taught how to make wise financial decisions and face the financial challenges that will come their way. This is their step towards financial freedom. As a little girl, I didn't know any better. Now, young adults, I no longer have the excuse of being uninformed. In order to change the financial direction of our nation, we have to start at the local level by teaching financial skills to our youth. We have the power to set the foundation for future generations, and I'm proud that I took action to initiate a legacy of financial literacy for future high school students and to improve the families in my community. Thank you. As a response to the evaluator's questions, I would say that communication is a very useful skill that I was able to improve on during this project. It is important to know how to communicate with adults in a school setting, in a professional setting, especially when advocating for a change, whether it be in person or through email. I was able to practice that a lot for my project. Second, I would say that quarantine set a lot of limitations on me. Not only was competition virtual, but so was my meeting with the school board. At first, I had planned to attend in person, but I had to go into quarantine, and it got turned into a Zoom call, which ended up with complications, and it turned into a phone call. Luckily, I was still able to present my project, and it was successfully approved. I also had to rely on some of my FCCLA members to conduct my community survey since I was not able to do it myself. I think that provided the opportunity for other members of my chapter to get involved in something that is very important and very near and dear to me. Thank you.